Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. When it comes to investing, patience is frequently rewarded, especially in the world of crypto, because when things get going, when they're really on a tear, the multiplier effect is insane in crypto. The percentage gains absolutely not attainable anywhere else with any other investment on this planet. So, what should we expect moving forward? Well, there's a gentleman by the name of Anthony Scaramucci who says that he's expecting a demand shock, which is going to propel the entire space. So, specifically, starting with Bitcoin, which you should expect anyway. Bitcoin is what leads rallies, right? And then there can be altcoin rallies, but I'm saying when you finally get the surge, gets people into the euphoric mode that we're wanting people to be in. Well, it is Bitcoin that does that, and then yes, you can have alt season, sure. And so he talks about that too. He does think that altcoins are going to take off. But it's fascinating because he was talking about something that I've been talking about the last couple of days, as has frankly the rest of the world of crypto. But what does it mean for BlackRock to be jumping in? I wanted to share with you a couple of his thoughts. And since I've talked about it a fair bit over the last couple of days, I'm not going to be truly heavy on the BlackRock stuff. But it was interesting seeing his take. And then I also wanted to share this with you. There's this article from the Daily Hodl titled, "Crypto Hedge Fund Veteran Predicts Explosive Parabolic Move for Bitcoin. Here's his timeline." Now, the individual that they're talking about is Mark Yusko, and I'm a fan of him. I've always found this guy to be rather insightful, and he's really good at articulating the ideas that are all up in his brain region. And he is one of the owners of Morgan Creek Digital, which is a hedge fund heavy on the crypto world. So plenty to discuss here. And what does this mean for XRP? I also have a brief update from one of the analysts that I regularly follow, but I'll tell you this here, even at the outset of the video. He fully anticipates that XRP is going to go into blast-off mode. That's clear. He hasn't changed his mind. It's just a matter of time and in what order do things need to occur before we get to that point. So I do want to talk about that as well. But before going any further, I want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, it is worth noting that altcoins recently actually have been outpacing Bitcoin. It's like even though price of Bitcoin's up, happy to see it, Bitcoin dominance is actually down to 39.06%. And it wasn't long ago that it was up to what? Even within the last 30 days, what did we see it at? A little shy of 42%. And this stuff happens though. But see, here's what has happened throughout history again and again and again. Even when you see altcoins start to outperform, and it's not like there's some crazy blow off top alt season happening right now. That's not what I'm saying. But even when you see stuff like this happen, if history is to repeat itself, what's going to take us into the stratosphere again, it's going to be Bitcoin leading the charge. It has every single time. And I'm fine with that. I own Bitcoin. I'm happy. I've been holding Bitcoin and XRP and a bunch of other cryptos for almost 5 whole years at this point. Bitcoin leads the charge, and then what happens historically repeats yet again, as I would anticipate it would. Then money's just going to flow into the other cryptos anyway, and there will eventually be a huge altcoin pop. So that's perfectly fine. But it's just interesting to see, and I'm going to share with the analysis from a couple analysts here, but it's to be expected. That's exactly what we should be expecting. XRP, as I record this, at 38 cents, Bitcoin at 24,467. It was just a hair shy earlier today of $25,000. Haven't seen it there in a while, so that's nice, I guess. Here, the market cap for the asset class, $1.19 trillion. And here is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 46 out of 100. That is the highest we've seen it in, I don't know, probably months. Something like, it's been a really long time. Because after things really started getting scary for most market participants in May, in particular, beginning with the crash of Luna and the stablecoin associated with it, UST, it was just like this terrible downward spiral. But now we're seeing prices go back up, and you're seeing Crypto Fear and Greed Index again at 46 out of 100. Don't forget, whether it was a month ago or 6 weeks ago, I can't remember exactly when everything seems to blur together, but it wasn't long ago, within roughly that period of time, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index was at 6 out of 100, the second to lowest it had ever been. And so, of course, it was going to be higher at some point in the future, but still people were capitulating there, and it just doesn't make any damn sense, which is what I was thinking about, and that's why I started out the video the way I did with the line, which I firmly believe to be true. Is, those that are patient when it comes to investing, they're the ones that reap the greatest benefits, and there's no shortage of information proving that. Now, here's a chart analyst, Income Sharks. He shared a chart for those of you that are looking at your screens right here. And it's just a Bitcoin USD chart, but he's noting levels that he thinks are important to pay attention to. And going back to what, call it the beginning part of April or maybe shortly thereafter, that's when we saw basically, despite small bursts to the upside, basically nothing but selling. And his chart's noting here that within the last, almost a month, we've seen it start to go in the opposite direction, actually, seen more of an upward trend. And so here's what he wrote about this. He wrote, Bitcoin, keep it simple. 2 areas of resistance make for 2 targets. Double bullish super trends printing buy, as in BUY, which haven't flipped since above $40,000. Fundamentals are what will drive this move, but even the technical analysis finally showing what's coming. And so this is another key point that I wanted to bring up here. According to, apparently it's just accepted wisdom at this point, and we'll see if it ends up, coming to pass here, but almost everyone that I follow at this point just says, yeah, it looks like crypto winter's over. The bottom already happened, and crypto winter's over. And Mark Yusko even makes that point. I'm looking forward to getting to the later part of this video what he has to say about that. And then there was also this from Income Sharks. He wrote, and this is so true, this really resonated with me, and hopefully it does with you too. He said, everyone swore after March 2020 that they wouldn't miss a dip like that again with stocks and crypto. We got one, and almost everyone missed it again. This is why you should ignore the news and trade the risk. It's rare getting opportunities like this. And so you may recall that March 2020, that's when Bitcoin got down to whatever it was, maybe $3,800 or so. Very scary for people. XRP got down to like 11 cents. I was able to, it was very briefly at 11 cents, but I was able to purchase XRP as low as 15 cents. That's the lowest I've ever purchased it, actually. It was right in that time period, right there in March 2020. And of course, inevitably, it did go back up. XRP's had a crazy roller coaster ride ever since then, as has much of crypto. But the point is that happened. After it happened, it's easy to say, well, man, if that ever happens again, I'm going to do it. But then, of course, in reality, when it's there, like, oh, this is scary, and you just see everything going down, it feels like it's never going to stop. But he's right. He's right every damn time. It's when he talks about this. Eventually, things start going the other direction. They don't always go in one direction forever. It just ain't gonna happen here. And so he has enough experience that I enjoy reading stuff from him because he's just so matter of fact about it. It's just like, yeah, this is the case. It's like, duh. And I do feel the same way, just in a general sense, which is why. So even though, okay, so he's a long-term holder, but he's also a trader. I'm just not the trader part of that because I just want to set it and forget it mentality. I don't want to be worried about what's going on in terms of should I get in and out of positions. And also data shows that most people are horrific traders. Something like 95% of them lose money. So the small percentages of the traders that actually make a profit, good for them. They are practically unicorns. Not quite, but practically unicorns, right? And even then, I still don't know how much they're actually making, which is why for me, understanding how much money's flowing into the space, what the hell do I care? It's... all this crypto is going to be worth way, way, way more in the future, I certainly believe, before some ultimately do go to zero. And then there's also this, one last one from Income Sharks. He says, stocks is where the money is at right now. When it starts moving to crypto, get ready because it's going to start being crazy again. Just the natural cycle of people flocking to the shiny object. Yes, indeed. That's what I always say. It is indeed just a matter of time. Don't forget that crypto moves in tandem with the stock market, and as I always say, not down to the second, the minute, the day, the week, so on and so forth, but it does. And the stock market, you know what? I was going to pull this up later. I'll just pull it up now. I'm not going to read the article, but the headline will suffice, frankly. This is from CNBC. Dow closes up 400 points. S&P 500 rises for 4th straight week as investors warm to cooler inflation. So this is the direction we're going. And with how weird things are in the world right now, if maybe some sort of wild card event happens and then we do see stuff tank, and I always acknowledge that is a potential thing that could happen. But outside of a wild card situation, the bottom probably actually isn't. And I didn't say certainly. I said in terms of probability, it's probably in. And so what do you think is going to happen? We're already seeing this happen with the stock market here and stocks in general. So what, crypto's not going to do it? Is this the part where crypto just completely detaches from what happens in equities and then it just falls apart and keeps going to zero? Does anybody actually think that's what's going to happen? I sure as hell do. I think even if it's lagging behind slightly, which you even see stuff like that in the world of crypto. You see, you know, altcoins lagging behind Bitcoin, for example. It's not that weird. So the fact that the crypto asset class is lagging behind stocks, it's not like that's a wild thing. It moves almost perfectly in tandem when the scariest of stuff happens. So like in March of 2020, yeah, the same day, stocks tanked, crypto tanked. You've seen stuff like that this year too, though. So when things recover, it's not necessarily that there's going to be wild moves to the upside, though you can see some of that on individual days, like when we got the latest CPI numbers, which I was reporting on in recent days. You see stuff like that, but in a general sense, it's close enough, and they're just going to continue to move in tandem. So you can see that it's moving in tandem, crypto and stocks. If you zoom out on a chart, then it's very easy to see with your own eyeballs. But on a shorter term, if you're just looking at the day-to-day, the nitty-gritty, you may not catch it. But that's just the state of things. It's just how it is here. Then there was this from Credible Crypto, and he shared this chart. Well, actually, let me show you this first one. So this is from Credible Crypto, and this is a chart that he initially shared about 2 months ago, and he was indicating where he was expecting Bitcoin dominance to go. So just kind of, in a general sense, kind of zigzag down to this region where, it's what's, for those you look on the screen, this green region here where it could dip a little below 40%. And then after that, he's anticipating that it would go way back up. Now, why is he anticipating that after Bitcoin dominance going so much lower, it would rocket back up? Well, because he's counting on history repeating. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but this is what it looks like to me, and this is what I've seen happen. As Bitcoin dominance decreases, which it certainly has recently, again, it's down from 42% in less than a month down to 39%. Altcoins have been outperforming, but Bitcoin leads rallies. He's expecting Bitcoin to lead a rally sooner than later, resulting in much higher dominance. So some of that money could bleed out of alts, but even if that didn't happen, either way, he's saying maybe that much more money flows into Bitcoin. Now, the truth is it's probably going to be a little column A, a little column B. But now you can see, so that was from 2 months ago. Now here's how it actually played out. What he anticipated would happen, now he put the real data over it, and that's where we are, actually. It's hit the green zone. And so he's anticipating that now you're going to see, in relatively short order, Bitcoin dominance just rocket up. And so if everybody's right, and crypto winter's actually over, and this is the point where it would make sense for something like this to happen, even if it takes weeks or months to play out. Just saying here. And then he was asked also about XRP. Said, how are XRP and HBAR looking? And then he asked, just going along for the ride with Bitcoin, question mark? Incredible Crypto wrote, both of them seem to be taking a nap right now, just waiting for them to wake up before I start posting updates on them. Fundamentally, nothing has changed lately, so it's just a matter of time. And so that's how it goes. Like, you never know for sure exactly what the timeline's going to look like in terms of whether you're talking stocks or crypto actually taking off. You don't know that for sure. But just understanding the cyclical nature of what it is to invest and understanding that nothing has fundamentally changed, there's no reason to have some sort of scary feelings or reduced confidence that it's ultimately going to occur. It's just most humans don't have the mental fortitude and the emotional wherewithal to get through this stuff. That's the truth. And so that's why I said, again, like I said a couple times now, there's a reason that I started out the video the way I did. It is true that those who are able to be patient, they end up getting paid for that patience, generally speaking. Not always. Sometimes bad stuff happens and certain stocks may completely crap out and companies go out of business or crypto goes to zero. Stuff can happen, but just in a general sense, the market's moving together, folks. This is not rocket science. It really isn't. The everyday person absolutely can achieve life-changing wealth in crypto. I firmly believe that. And I don't say that. I have nothing to sell to you. I've been running this channel. In December, it'll be 4 years, if you can believe that. And I mean, I'm not against people if you really have a legit course, but there's so many fake internet gurus out there, and some of them have really expensive courses, and they're just selling you crap and garbage. And I'm just saying, like, the average person doesn't need that crap to have life-changing wealth. You just need to buy stuff and then not do anything. Like, you really, like, if you can do that, you're so much of the way there. And so even if there's somebody that can be like even if not a day trader, but like a macro trader where you're playing the bigger moves, and some do, maybe they can make a little bit more than you do in that. But it's like, are you that wizard that can do that? Because I'm not pretending I am. So I just don't worry about it. I don't do it. And I still know it's going to be substantial if I'm right. And data says that I'm right, just in terms of how things play out over time with the stock market, over 100 years worth of data, and in crypto over 10 years worth of data. I just think you do need to pay more attention to crypto just because there's less history, and I do think at some point you're going to see substantial maturation, and I do think most cryptos go to zero. So yeah, you got to pay attention to your investments. If you're invested in stocks and crypto, like you really need to pay attention to your crypto investments a lot more than the stocks. Just in a general sense, I'm speaking in generalities here, specific instances for people out there. Maybe there's good reasons to argue it's not the case, but if you're just like investing in an index fund or something to that effect, if that's the direction you're going, that for stocks, like that's a set it and forget it type of thing. Now with crypto, even if you've got reasonable broad exposure, you're invested in a number of different coins, like almost like you're making your own index, you still need to pay attention more just in case. But right now what I'm seeing is humans are just behaving the same as ever. So there's this article from Crypto Potato, which has a very stupid name, but I like them. They actually put out really good content, but man, it's a stupid. Who came up with that? Crypto Potato? Damn, son. It's almost as bad as Moon Lambo. Anyway, so this article is titled BlackRock's Bitcoin Trust Will Create a Demand Shock, says Anthony Scaramucci. Yes, demand shock. And this is the type of stuff that happens. He's talking about floodgates opening effectively. So take a look at this. Anthony Scaramucci, founder and managing partner of Skybridge Capital. And by the way, I'll pause and note, they manage billions. They have billions in assets under management. And then he says, believes BlackRock's Bitcoin Trust, among other developments, will continue to a demand shock for Bitcoin that will send its price soaring. He added that the future is arriving sooner than he thought, and predicted that Bitcoin will reach $300,000 per coin within a few years. So think about this, and in a general sense, yes, I believe in that. The idea of Bitcoin one day hitting $300,000 doesn't sound bonkers. And even over that timeline, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it doesn't sound bonkers. We've seen way more bonkers stuff over the last 13 years that Bitcoin has existed than that specifically happening from this point in time. But that's why you got to think, like, whether you buy Bitcoin at, if you were able to buy it near the bottom at 17,500 recently, or if it's at 25,000, when it hits $300,000, if you bought anywhere in that range, you're probably not going to care too much. I'm just saying. Same with XRP. XRP being at 38 cents right now, whether you're able to buy it at its recent low of 28 cents or you're buying it at 38 cents, well, if it's hitting 10 or 20 or 30 bucks at some point in the future, to what degree will you actually care? That's still insane, right? But it's the poor people at the top when the euphoria hits that then jump in and then they're paying these inflated prices. They're the ones that just aren't going to make it. But anyway, piece continues. In an interview with CNBC on Friday, Scaramucci began by saying he's seen a resurgence of investor interest in the cryptocurrency market. So let's pause and note this. He's not the only one that's saying this. And again, he's one of these guys that would be in the know. Just like with BlackRock, he had Larry Fink, and actually they cite Larry Fink in this article too. I mean, it's about BlackRock, so that won't surprise. He's the CEO of BlackRock. But what I keep seeing from people that are in this world of crypto hedge funds and investments, they're seeing a resurgence of investor interest. And this is the time that you'd expect it to if markets have actually bottomed out. Well, yeah. So even if people hadn't gotten into crypto and they started paying attention, say, a year ago or 18 months ago, as things were getting heated up, even if they're getting interested, they probably are like, well, maybe there's something to this, but this is probably a bad time to buy because everything's super hot right now and prices are inflated. And what do you know? You're seeing this now, this resurgence in investor interest, including on an institutional level, now that the prices are low. As the retail speculator is scarcely involved in crypto, I mean, the interest is at local lows. I would say it's very safe to say that there are not as many people paying attention to crypto right now, which is what you'd expect. Humans are humans. But look what's happening. This is why I keep saying, like, you see all these signs, you put all the pieces together, like, wow, we're going to see something pretty cool soon moving to the upside. I don't know exactly what that means in terms of timeline, but it's not like you have to wait a decade to see something, 5 years. Anyway, piece continues. Given the better than expected inflation numbers in July, he believes that the global economy can roar back to its Q4 2019 status. Strong economy, low unemployment, and benign inflation within 6 to 12 months. Now, think about that. Within 6 to 12 months, I keep seeing that type of time frame being touted by all sorts of people, including technical analysts in the world of crypto that I follow, as well as these guys at crypto hedge funds. In fact, so check this out now from the Daily Huddle. Crypto hedge fund veteran predicts explosive parabolic move for Bitcoin. Here's his timeline. Morgan Creek Digital managing partner Mark Yusko thinks the bottom is already in for Bitcoin, and it's due for a massive rally in less than a year. In a new interview with Stansberry Research, Yusko tells host Matt McCall, that after nearly 10 months of frustration and financial loss, the crypto winter is finally over with Bitcoin ready to move in about half a year. And here's a quote from him. I think crypto spring is here. We're still a ways from crypto summer when we get another parabolic move up, but that will come probably in 6 to 9 months, end quote. Ooh. So he's even saying crypto summer in terms of a big parabolic move, 6 to 9 months. And if you think historically how some of this has played out, I mean, look back to, when Bitcoin, obviously it hit its high during the previous cycle into 2017 at almost $20,000 before cratering back down to something like $3,200. But how long did it take to crater back down? About a year, actually. And so if you're looking at how long it's been now, you're not that far off. So even if it is somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 months-ish right now, since Bitcoin had its all-time high, well, we're not that far off, and it's not like it has to literally be a year anyway. If this is what it was, then, folks, we've been living through this for all of this time. The prices will not stay this low forever. And again, it's just another financial professional saying the same thing. There's almost all of them are saying the same type of thing at this point anyway. Those people. And and by the way, I'll note also, it's the opposite. It's the opposite of what the retail speculator thinks is going to happen. It's like and I know it's kind of anecdotal, but I check out these polls on Twitter, and it's like, are we in a bear market? Not in a bear market. Is Bitcoin price going to go up? Is it going to go down? Is it going to crater below X price? And the retail speculators, who are the people by and large responding to this stuff on Twitter, they're all still like in doomsday mode. They're all saying that stuff, and then I see these people that are actually living and breathing finance for a career saying the opposite. It's like, you tell me who is likely to be accurate. You tell me. I'm guessing it's not the lemmings out there who are just very scared right now. Anyway, piece continues though. The crypto hedge fund executive looks beyond the fluctuating price charts to emphasize the importance of the blockchain as represented by the original crypto asset. And here's another quote from him. He's a big Bitcoin guy, so this won't surprise you, but he says, Bitcoin is a perfect store of value. It's basically digital gold. Gold is the only money in the history of the world. Bitcoin is as good as gold. It's equally scarce, yet it's more divisible and more portable, end quote. So look, I don't care. Like, the fact that a lot of people are on that bandwagon, cool. I mean, I own Bitcoin, so I'd like it to do well also. I really would. I critique it because it's fair to critique its technical inefficiencies. Let's say it's the least technologically advanced cryptocurrency on the entire planet. It's just the first, so it's got a lot of money flowing into it. That's fine, whatever. Maybe it does stick around and it really is just digital gold forever. Okay, super duper. Or maybe Lightning actually works one day. Super duper, even though it's a centralized solution. But I don't care because the market moves in tandem, and I'm telling you, if he's right about this, even if Bitcoin's number one forever, my God, the multiplier effect and how much money I can make in XRP compared to Bitcoin, it's not even close. Like, and not just because XRP is already my largest holding now, but I'm saying because of the multiplier effect. Think about how much money you have to put into Bitcoin to get any sort of life-changing wealth from it at this point. I mean, fine, you could still do it. Like, say you have one Bitcoin and then it actually is worth $1 million one day. Okay, so that'd be life-changing for most people, I suppose. But how long would it take to get there? I have no idea. If it's going to happen. Would it be a decade, 15 years? I don't know. I mean, maybe we do get some sort of crazy exponential move way to the upside, more than people have expected, and you get even faster adoption. I'm just saying, you can do it much faster with a cryptocurrency that has a lower market cap. There is less money in those. And I understand the market cap, of course, that doesn't mean that's how much money is in it. That's just the circulating supply multiplied times the current market rate. But what I'm saying is, the fact that those market caps are lower, a factor of that is that less money flowed into them. It just is. But that's awesome. That's why there's so much damn opportunity here. Piece continues. Yusko goes on to explain why he's not worried about the major losses Bitcoin has incurred since late 2021, noting that he believes Bitcoin already hit a cycle bottom at around $17,500 back in the middle of June. And here's a quote from him. Everything's down since November because we had these massive liquidations of over-leveraged speculation. When you get a margin call, you don't get to sell what you want to sell. You've got to sell gold, bonds, and Bitcoin. The things that previously didn't go down now go down. So now everything's going down, correlations go up, but that's a temporal thing. Now correlations are reversing again. Interesting, right? So you guys can let me know what you think, but I think the brightest days for all of us are yet ahead. I really firmly believe that. And I mean, well, they better be, because I'll tell you what, I've never cashed out any of my crypto into USD, and in November, I'll have been here 5 years. So now it's also fine because I'm only putting in money that, if I actually lost it and all went to zero, I'll live. It'd be kind of like, I'd be bummed out if that actually happened, but I'm just saying, I don't need it. So I'll just be as patient as I need to. But in the scheme of things, what's waiting 5-6 years in the scheme of things? Because once it finally runs and it happens, and I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, nobody does for sure, it's not going to matter. And it may sound far away. You may hear 5 years, 6 years. Oh, that sounds so far away. But then inevitably in the future, eventually you're just going to be there because time keeps on a ticking, my friend. So you're going to be there. It's like plant the seeds for your future self. Your future self will thank you. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.